Hello, trading has closed on December 18th, 2023. As always, we'll do our disclaimer, go over our calls, and make some predictions. It's my trading plan for Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. Any trades you make should be made at your own risk because I can be wrong. Look for the chart pattern today with the early high, which is this. Tomorrow should have the early low. We said we were close to a top. I still think we are. But as far as today is concerned, we gapped up sharply, and that killed the call for today before the open. It's a reminder of what we said. This isn't the time of year I like to be negative. It's pretty hard to get a decline late December, so maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe it'll be delayed, but I don't like this action. During the day, MEJT said this move was a false move and prices have already retraced. This is a pattern which usually closes near the high. When it doesn't close near the high, it's negative. It can all change at tomorrow's open, which can substitute for today's close. But if we don't gap and take out this high early, this negative pattern should lead to lower prices, even if we don't close lower. We also gapped up, hit higher highs, and after hitting all these higher highs, closed under most of these higher highs. That's -2. Only gapping and promptly taking this high out fast will save the pattern. These blue numbers are DeMark's sequential count. The green numbers are his combo count. Bars 11, 12, and 13 don't have to obey all the rules, so we're now on a DeMark combo sell signal. These things don't work as flawlessly as I would like. I think the more reliable at getting market lows than market highs, but according to his rule, it's a sign that we're overextended. Doesn't mean we have to drop tomorrow. We certainly could. Doesn't mean we have to drop tomorrow. Sometimes you work out these overextended conditions just by time rather than by price, but at least it's part of his rules for saying we've gone too far too fast. I always feel good when I cross an old MEJT target off the list. This one, 47.48. 84 goes back almost 2 years. It's an ultimate target. They're some of the most reliable targets they are. Now, if you just hide this last hour or so, you'll see a gap up and a breakout to a new high. Without the target, you might be tempted to say we're going to keep going up. With the target, you can see it's just a sharp move up to resistance because these aren't only targets. They're also resistance areas. And that's not the only resistance. This is again fan line from this high. Within a fraction of a point of being 1-to-1. It's close enough for me. If you're going to break through, normally you'll gap over it. Otherwise, that's resistance. We discussed this Fibonacci resistance over the weekend. I don't think today's slightly higher high changes anything. I don't think it changes this count. And remember, we're now trading more than 100 handles over the point of the FOMC announcement. So if we do get the whipsaw, we should go at least 100 handles under the announcement. If this high holds, and if the announcement price falls with some authority, we could drop 200 handles from here without changing anything. And if you look at this last move up, I don't know how to count it, but this looks like a three-wave pattern and not a 5. And if that's your A and that's your B, and C ends there, C is equal to A. Now, at the end of last year, when prices were not quite 1,000 handles lower, we had what looked like a pretty bad bear market. I had 10 unfilled MEJT targets. I said at the year-end report we would see most or possibly all of these targets before the end of 2023. We now have printed 8 of the 10 targets, and that's most right now, and we're pretty close to this one. We get to cross the ultimate target off the list, and that means since October of 2013, we've had roughly 1,500 ultimate targets, and only 2 of them haven't printed. And if you look from the end of 2014 through the end of 2022, that's about 3,000 standard targets, and only 18 haven't printed. Now we have some from this year, but I'm counting till the end of 2022. Well, tomorrow's pattern has yearly low, which doesn't tell us where we open. Today's normally bullish pattern didn't close near its high. In addition, we gapped up, hit a higher high, but closed under multiple prior highs. It's a negative pattern, and if that's maintained at the open, it has to be maintained, it should lead to lower prices even if we don't close lower. If we gap and promptly overtake the high a day, that kills the pattern. Won't know that till tomorrow. There's resistance from the Gann fan line, a satisfied MEJT target, and a DeMark combo sell signal, and sentiment indicators are on a sell. It's difficult for stocks to have a significant drop at year-end, and any negative patterns may be delayed or ameliorated because of this. That being said, my indicators allow for a meaningful decline beginning from somewhere in this area, and if that happens, I think prices will recover at some point. Predicting big drops in late December just isn't a winning strategy, and maybe we can hold on till next year, or maybe it'll happen. Just because it isn't very common doesn't mean it can't happen, but you stop at resistance, sentiment indicators are negative. We could have a sharp drop here without changing the bullish long-term picture. I think it's even possible if we do get a drop here, we could recover fairly soon, but that hasn't happened yet. But for right now, if we can't take this high out, it's a candidate for the end of this leg, and it's very negative action. And if we do gap up, well, you don't have to risk any money. And that's today's call.